Hello, and welcome back to my 30 videos in 30 days series. The inspiration for today's video comes from when I've had too much resin and I've left the chip brush in the container of the resin. A couple hours later or the next day when you go to pull it out, you end up with this dried, hard glob of resin with a paintbrush or chip brush frozen in time in it. What I'm hoping to do today, instead of having a chip brush that's frozen in a circular mass of resin, what I want it to really look like is someone just dropped the paintbrush and it's frozen in time in the exact instant that it hit the ground. If you'd like to see how I try to accomplish this, please stick around. I'd like the full paint blob to be thin and strong, so I've cut out this little piece of fiberglass mat and I'm going to spray adhesive it to the bottom of the bucket. I'm going to use the spray adhesive so it doesn't float. I hope I don't regret this when it comes time to remove it. The resin that I'm using today is Bondo brand. It's made by 3M at $14 a container. It's not a bad resin to use. I've never tried any of the fancier resins that are out there. It does stink though, so I will be wearing this mask while I'm working with it. It's been 45 minutes. One complaint I do have with this resin is they give you a can of resin, they give you this little container of hardener, but they really don't tell you how much hardener to put in. It's a container of hardener versus a container of resin, but if you're using a quarter of a container or a third of a container, it's really hard to measure out your hardener. I think I used a little bit too much hardener. I wanted to make sure it hardened fast. I ended up with a potato chip. It's a hard potato chip, but it's a potato chip. I think I have enough resin left to give this one more shot. Let's see how try number 2 goes. The second one started to potato chip on me also, but I caught it when there was still a little bit of flexibility left to the resin. And I quick threw it underneath these boards, and I'm hoping that it now cured flat. Let's see how it turned out. Not perfectly flat, but a huge improvement to the first one. Probably 30% thinner than the first one, and I probably should have gone another 30% thinner than this. Maybe I should do more than one pour. Maybe I should do a really thin pour with the fiberglass mat and the paintbrush just barely there, and then a second pour over the top, so I know all of the fiberglass mat would get covered and maybe have less of a chance of warpage. Either way, I think this one's going to work to do what I want to do with it. By putting chalk on this paper, I should be able to trace the outline. It's faint, but it's there. I have the rough shape done. Now some sanding and grinding to get to the final shape. I couldn't decide between orange or lime green. Somehow I ended up with gold. Well, this project turned out even better than I had expected. It still has a coat of paint before I can call it done, but that's going to have to wait until tomorrow. Thanks for sticking around and watching me experiment with resin. And if you like this project, please subscribe to make sure you don't miss any future projects. And until next time, peace.